Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, slipping your feet into your slippers, and standing up. But instead of that familiar, sharp grinding in your knees, or that stiff, aching tightness in your lower back, there is only a smooth, fluid silence. You might have been told that waking up feeling like your joints are coated in biological rust is just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older. But the reality is, this morning stiffness is often a sign of localized cellular starvation and overnight inflammation. What if I told you that the remedy to this daily suffering isn't found in a $50 bottle of synthetic joint pills, but in a simple 18-cent spoonful of liquid gold that has been sitting in human pantries for over 3,000 years? Listen closely, because we are facing a silent physiological crisis. Millions of older adults are surrendering their mobility and their dignity to a slow, creeping stiffness. You go to the doctor and you are handed heavily marketed prescriptions, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, costly synthetic collagen powders, or glucosamine supplements that promise the world, but leave your stomach irritated and your joints still aching. These modern chemical solutions are fundamentally failing us. They act as temporary, superficial bandages, masking the pain while the underlying tissue continues to dry out and decay. Why does this happen? Because modern medicine has largely forgotten how to nourish the structural foundation of the human body. We have traded ancestral physical wisdom for convenient, brightly colored pills. But tonight, we are going to reclaim your physical freedom. The journey to restoring your knees, hips, and hands begins not in a sterile pharmacy, but in your own kitchen, just moments before you go to sleep. The first major step to ending morning stiffness is taking exactly 1 tablespoon of high-quality, cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil right before bed. Why before bed? Because while you sleep, your body enters a deep, critical restorative phase. If you introduce this specific, ancient fat into your digestive tract as your metabolism slows down for the night, it doesn't get burned immediately for rapid energy. Instead, its powerful therapeutic compounds are slowly absorbed into your bloodstream, traveling directly to your synovial fluid, the thick, lubricating gel that surrounds and protects your joints, acting as an overnight, biological velvet. Hello, and welcome to Timeless Vitality Secrets. If you value this kind of ancestral health wisdom, subscribe to join our family. And tell us in the comments, how old are you? And what is the hardest physical job you've ever done in your life? Now, let us peel back the layers of this ancient physiological blueprint. Look back through the corridors of history, and you will find that this is not just quaint folk medicine. It is a time-tested, historically validated survival mechanism. Consider the legendary Roman Gladiators. Historical records and modern bone density analyses from archaeological sites show that these ancient warriors, whose very survival depended on the structural integrity of their joints and the explosive, enduring power of their muscles, consumed massive quantities of raw olive oil. They didn't just bathe their skin in it, they drank it in heavy rations. They understood something intuitively that modern clinical laboratories are only just now rediscovering. They knew that heavy, natural fats were the ultimate armor for human connective tissue. The secret lies in a miraculous organic compound, hidden inside the deep green and golden hues of the oil, a polyphenol called Oleocanthal. When you swallow that single spoonful of high-quality olive oil, you might notice a distinct, slight peppery tickle in the back of your throat. That sensation is not a sign of acidity. It is the physical manifestation of oleocanthal reacting with your sensory receptors. Researchers at prestigious institutions, including the Penn State Department of Nutritional Sciences, have discovered that oleocanthal acts as a natural, entirely non-toxic inhibitor of COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes. Do you know what that means for your knees and your lower back? Those are the exact same inflammatory enzymes targeted by potent over-the-counter painkillers like ibuprofen. But unlike synthetic drugs that can quietly damage your liver, elevate your blood pressure, and tear away your delicate gut lining over time, this ancestral plant compound extinguishes the fires of inflammation, systemically, gently, and safely, while you rest. And this is only the beginning. We must talk about the silent thief of senior vitality. I am talking about sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. You see, your joints do not exist in isolation. They are held together, stabilized, and protected by the dense musculature surrounding them. If your quadriceps and hamstring muscles wither away, the mechanical stress and grinding friction on your knee cartilage doubles. But as we age, our bodies develop a terrifying condition known in clinical physiology as anabolic resistance. This means your aging muscles become stubbornly, actively resistant to absorbing the protein you eat. You could be eating a perfectly healthy diet, yet your muscles continue to shrink, leaving your skeleton vulnerable.
Why does this happen?
Clinical studies reveal that chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation is the primary biological blockade that prevents amino acids from entering your muscle tissue. By taking that spoonful of olive oil before bed, you are deploying a molecular fire extinguisher. You are lowering the systemic inflammation overnight, effectively shattering the blockade of anabolic resistance. When you wake up and eat a simple, incredibly cheap protein the next morning, like a traditional farm-fresh egg or a bowl of Depression-era oats stirred with whole milk, your body can actually absorb it. You begin rebuilding the muscular armor that protects your fragile joints, just like the blue-collar steelworkers of the 1950s, who maintained immense physical strength well into their later years on simple, hearty, whole food diets. This brings us to a profound turning point in how we understand the aging body. For decades, you have been sold a dangerous, deeply flawed medical myth. You have been told that dietary fats cause heart disease, and that to protect your health in your golden years, you must eat a strict, low-fat diet. On the contrary, this misguided advice has starved your nervous system and dried out your joint capsules. We replaced nourishing, heavy ancestral fats with heavily processed, sugary breakfast cereals and heart-healthy seed oil margarines that are essentially synthetic plastics. These highly processed modern meals trigger massive, violent spikes in blood sugar and insulin, flooding your body with free radicals that actually eat away at your cartilage. That healthy, modern breakfast you were told to eat is actively draining your muscle power and cementing the biological rust in your joints. Think about how incredible this realization is. The very ancestral fats you were told to fear are the exact molecular glues your body desperately needs to heal. Please, share this profound realization with a loved one right now. Send them this video, because this simple truth could save them years of unnecessary physical suffering and thousands of dollars in medical bills. As we push deeper into this deep physiological reconstruction, we must look at the microscopic engine room of your cells. I am talking about your mitochondria. These are the microscopic power plants inside your muscle and joint tissues that generate the pure energy required for cellular repair. As we pass our 60th birthday, we experience a phenomenon called mitochondrial decay. The cellular power plants begin to sputter, rust, and die off, leaving our tissues in a state of silent oxygen starvation. Your joints simply cannot heal if they do not have the cellular energy to rebuild torn cartilage. But the heavy, viscous, cold-pressed olive oil you take at night is packed with a complex matrix of polyphenols. specifically a molecule called hydroxytyrosol. Clinical trials from leading European university vascular departments have demonstrated that hydroxytyrosol physically crosses cell membranes and shields your mitochondria from oxidative stress. It is like wrapping your cellular engines in an impenetrable suit of armor while you sleep, ensuring that when you wake up, your cells have the vibrant energy to repair the wear and tear of the previous day. Furthermore, we must address the vascular highway. Your synovial membrane, the delicate tissue that produces the lubricating fluid for your joints, does not have a massive, direct blood supply like your heart or your lungs do. It relies entirely on a fragile, microscopic network of capillaries to deliver nutrients. If your arteries are stiff, if your blood pressure is high, and if your circulation is poor, those tiny capillaries shrink and close up completely. The result? Your joints literally starve to death in the dark, drying out, cracking, and turning to dust, like unwatered soil in a drought. This is where the nighttime olive oil ritual performs its most magnificent, life-saving work. The high concentration of monounsaturated fat, specifically oleic acid, works dynamically to stimulate the nitric oxide pathway in your blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a miracle molecule that signals your stiff blood vessels to relax, soften, and widen. While you are deep in sleep, the olive oil is quietly sweeping through your vascular system, opening up those microscopic capillaries and forcing warm, nutrient-rich, highly oxygenated blood deep into the starving, isolated crevices of your knees, your hips, and your lower back. But to truly unlock unbreakable joints, we must combine this evening ritual with historical physical culture. Let us look back to the survival meals of the 1930s Depression era, or the heavy blue-collar diets of the past century. They didn't have expensive collagen peptide powders shipped in plastic tubs. They relied on cheap, robust, whole foods. Bone broths rich in natural, thick gelatin. Tough, inexpensive cuts of meat, cooked slow and low over the fire to release their connective tissues. When you combine the profound anti-inflammatory power of your nighttime olive oil with a diet rich in these cheap, traditional, whole food collagen sources, a biological miracle occurs. The olive oil removes the inflammatory roadblocks, allowing the raw amino acids from your humble, budget-friendly meals to flow effortlessly into your joint capsules, weaving fresh, resilient cartilage fibers overnight. You are no longer just managing pain. You are actively engaging in deep physiological reconstruction. So, how do we synthesize this vast clinical and ancestral wisdom into a simple, unhurried daily rejuvenation protocol? It requires no expensive equipment, no complicated medical charts, and costs only pennies a day. About 30 minutes before you go to sleep, walk into your kitchen and pour exactly 1 tablespoon of high-quality, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil. Look for oil packaged exclusively in dark glass bottles, which protects the delicate, healing polyphenols from light degradation. Swallow it straight. If the peppery taste is too strong for your palate at first, you can add a tiny squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The lemon not only cuts the viscosity, but provides a small, potent burst of natural vitamin C, which works synergistically to further assist in overnight collagen synthesis. That is your evening checklist. A simple, dignified, unhurried act of self-care before you rest. Before we reveal our last and most important longevity truth, thank you for supporting our work with your likes. Your health is our mission, and your engagement helps us bring this vital truth to millions of older adults who desperately need it. Now, for the final secret. The final secret is not a nutrient, nor is it a clinical protocol. It is a mindset. Consistency is the true, undisputed architect of longevity. You cannot undo a decade of biological rust in a single evening. But with unwavering daily dedication, the human body's capacity to heal itself is absolutely boundless. Remember the words of the ancient Stoic philosophers who observed the olive tree itself. The olive tree does not grow fast, nor does it possess the soft, fragile beauty of spring flowers. Instead, it grows slowly, weathering harsh winter winds and scorching summer suns, driving its thick roots deep into the unforgiving rocky earth. And because of that intense struggle, it produces golden fruit for centuries, its trunk twisted, scarred, but entirely unbreakable. You are that tree. Your years are not a symbol of decay, but a magnificent testament to your endurance. Nourish your roots, honor your body's ancient, brilliant design, and step into tomorrow with the strength of 100 generations behind you.